honestly, I'm like delirious at this point, so I don't remember anything. And my head is throbbing. I'm really tired. Tomorrow I fly back to LA. It has been a great experience. So that was a dramatic way into me telling you about my meeting with a literary agent. Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I'm a TV writer and a novelist. I've written for shows like How to Get Away with Murder. I've written for The Sandman, Fate the Winx Saga, and I've developed anime with Crunchyroll. Right now, I'm on my 2-year journey into finishing a novel. We're on week like 20, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it's giving very much first draft. Like I thought I was about to be on the shelf published in 2 years. No. So before I get into the meeting, I need to say this. You don't have to want an agent at all. That doesn't make you into a writer. I want an agent because I think I want to go into traditional publishing. And as a filthy TV writer, I have a team of an agent and a manager, and I know what having people advocate for you who have connections looks like. Again, you don't have to do it, and I might get to the end and be like, publishing would kind of fuck up the vibe, and we're going for, you know, strictly small press. But even so, agents have connections with those smaller presses, but you don't have to give a fuck. Anyway, I know that without an agent, some things are unattainable if you don't got the grit, if you don't got the tenacity. And I'm not gonna lie, I got some grit, some tenacity, but I be tired. Like I'm on E. The health bar is on empty. So I know I'm gonna need some help when it comes to my literary career. So here we are, week 20 of my 2-year series, give or take. And this is a big milestone. So I wanna share how it went. And real quick, it's important to note that this meeting came because I was a part of something called LitFest. LitFest is open to the public. I'm not fucking marketing. This was a part of a literary festival, and so it's a little bit untraditional as to how I got this meeting. So as a part of LitFest, you prep for it for months. So we knew that we had to write a query letter. We've been told we had to write a query letter as a part of this program since we started the program. But I'm gonna tell you something. I hate fucking emails and I hate fucking letters. And so a query letter about what I'm writing, like in the TV world, you don't gotta do that shit. Because honestly, they care, but they don't want to read the script to begin with. And so an agent is gonna read your script and be like, come meet me. And then they're gonna look at you and be like, you're crazy. Next. You know, something like that. So having to write a letter for this, I'm like, what are y'all doing in the author world? Like, this is 1865? Like, so I thought I'm going to prep for this differently. I'm going to focus on my pages because we had to submit a query letter and pages, which if you are someone that's going to query an agent, you are going to have to submit your query letter and likely your first 20 pages. And so I was like, I'm about to blow your mind with the pages. Like, fuck a query. I still had to do it because we had to submit the query in order for the meeting to go through. So like, we had to go with what it feels like to query. But like, I was like, I'm gonna do a quick little letter, like da-da-da-da. Like, I'd be damned if I sit here and type paragraphs about my book. Fuck all y'all. I wrote a query letter. I think it was decent. And, you know, to be honest with you, I did do some work on it. So like, I let my mom read it and I was like, Mom, as a part of my 2-year program, I'm in a cohort, asked my cohort member to read it, took notes. It's not giving that like I just slapped it together the day before it was due. Like, I mean, so I did put in some effort, but I went the pages route because in TV, it's all about voice. It's all about like the words on the page. And so I thought, like, if I can blow your mind with the words, you don't give a fuck. You're gonna be like, oh my God, who is this? And so that's what I focus on. The intro, I'm teaching you how to read the book. So the intro was batshit crazy. And so I was just like, let me lean in and make sure it's a crisp batshit crazy. And she's about to be blown out the water. So here's where we're at. I'm gonna say this right now. The pages 8, but the query letter, she had notes. And told me the notes and told me where I fucked up. Was my method correct? Let's talk about it a little bit. I documented some of it, so I'm gonna incorporate that now. It's Friday. Today is the day. Today we have our agent meeting. I feel like the industry has prepared me for this. I feel like, you know, after you've gotten shot out of the sky, in front of people, getting shot out of the sky potentially in private in a conversation is not anything. I kind of wore something fairly professional-ish. Gonna go in, I have my comps. I know it's gonna be like Before Never Let Me Go mixed with Frankenstein and Junji Ito novel. Should I go in now? I don't want to. I wish I could teleport from here to the room, because like it's hot as fuck outside. I'll let you know how it goes. So this is me the day of, walking in, getting ready, prepping. Again, I got this meeting because of LitFest, and they give you a date. Mine was at 2:30 on a Friday. So the latest time on the last day of the literary festival. I'm haggard. I gotten the person that I had asked to get. They were a horror agent, and I was super excited. So I walked in super nervous, because I get nervous about every fucking thing. It doesn't matter how long I've done this shit. So I sat in the lobby, pretended to stare at the wall, pretended to stare at some books that I didn't give a fuck about, to be honest with you. Just kind of like waiting so I didn't look super fucking awkward, and check my makeup. It wasn't doing good. The setting spray, I got a new setting spray. It didn't really work. I was hot. It wasn't great, so whatever. Anyway, I was called in. Sorry. I was just daydream.
You're going to be in the first office.
So this is what happened in the meeting. I feel like this is kind of indicative of how meetings go in a lot of categories, but like, this is what happened. Immediately disassociating. Pilot, I'm literally not here. My soul is over there in the corner, and you're just speaking to my husk of a corpse. Luckily, I've done this so much that I can kind of like be disassociated and like give you charismatic. I try to go for charisma and fun and like humor. And so I came in while we were kind of introducing ourselves, and I was like in an astral plane kind of state. They were like, I've been waiting to meet the person that wrote this script. I mean, oh my God, that wrote these pages. I've been waiting to meet them. So like, again, I'm riding off of that high. I'm excited, but then like I'm disassociated and nervous. So anyway, I know people hate small talk, and I hate small talk too. To be honest with you, I hate talk, period. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to you at all, but I appreciate small talk, because sometimes you just need like a little, like, you just need a way to connect with somebody. And like, I'm not coming in guns blazing, like, can we take a minute? Damn, you know? And so we locked in on something. I think we did small talk about the TV industry, and I kind of just mentioned like where it's at, what it's been like. We're talking about some of the horror movies, because this is obviously a horror leaning agent. I kind of mentioned like, you know, I do a lot of horror stuff. It's been nice to find an outlet, because in TV and film, I've had to like stifle myself a little bit, because I can't always sell maximum gore. I can't sell monster fucking and disembowelment. Cool. The thing so when I lock into something with small talk, what I'm really trying to do is expand into who I am. The small talk isn't just about like, oh, hi, like I watched Obsession. Did you like Backrooms? I didn't. Like, it's not just about that. You use those opportunities to kind of talk about yourself. So you're not like, when it's time to like get into business, you're not just like, I went to school. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of using that to be like, yeah, like Backrooms, I'm really into YouTube, and like I've been looking at YouTube since it came out, and like that kind of was what got me into storytelling, and that's kind of what the things that I found on YouTube is why I'm writing so much weird shit, because I'm always watching weird shit. You see what I'm saying? So you're using small talk. I'm not trying to get preachy, but I'm using small talk to like, you're like using small talk to like ease in. This is who I am. It's not just plain. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you're using things that you have in common to also express who you are. And so that's how I started. Again, I was disassociated, but you know, when we're getting into that, I'm like slowly coming into myself. Although I was the meeting was 20 minutes only, so it was really fast. And so when meetings happen fast and it's like happening, I literally black out. Like, I just black out. So I was kind of blacked out, but I know what I'm doing. So they mentioned my pages and like being excited about what they read. Like I said, the batshit crazy pages. Like, when I tell you, they're really gross, but also really sad. I really let myself shine on the pages. And so that paid off, because they were like, I just really wanted to meet this writer. This is really exciting. You know, I'm not gonna like brag too much, but like it gave, because I made sure that it did. And then after that, it was kind of like, I asked questions like, well, where does it fit in the market? Like, where does this kind of weird horror sit? And her explaining to me that like you kind of really have to know who you're speaking to. My last video was about that. Who are you speaking to? Where do those presses, like what presses typically kind of cater to those people? Where do your folks go as far as like your audiences? And so we spoke about the market for a bit, and that's just more important on like I'm genuinely curious for when this thing get published. You might not give a fuck at all, but this is like, because I work in the entertainment business, I'm genuinely curious about what it looks like on the other side when I submit the manuscript. So we talked about that. That was great. And my goal in that wasn't just to be like, I'm curious. It is curious, but it's also again to show that I do have kind of a background in like the marketing business side, and I care about the marketing business side. Like it is important for people, for your reps to kind of know. I think reps that you're querying and like getting to know, it's important, because this meeting is both for you and for them. It's important for them to know that you care, but it's equally important for you to gauge their thing. Because imagine if she was like, well, it's not really literary horror. It's not real. You know what I mean? Like imagine if she gave an answer that I didn't like. So these questions are not just for her to like judge my worth as a writer. These questions are also so I see where she's at and what she considers my book and how much of like a connect or disconnect we have. Anyway, so we were taught that, you know, towards the end of the meeting, you ask, hey, so, and this might be, you might want to know this, but hey, you know, this was really great. I would love to send you my pages, aka my entire manuscript. I would love to send you my manuscript once it's at a good place. We were taught to ask that, and I think that's standard practice. Instead, she asked me in the meeting, like, please send me this manuscript. Please send it to me. And I was like, sure will. I was like, yes, you know, maybe this will be an agent in the future. They asked for my manuscript. They were like, yeah, like, please send it to me. Like, please send this to me. And I'm like, yes. Anyway, child, this was great. Goodbye. And then they were like, but your query needs some work. And I was like, ooh. So it was great that my pages were great because my pages kept them reading. But my query, if I wasn't in the program, my query letter could have fucked my shit up is what I'm saying. Like if I didn't have if I didn't have the program and I just kind of cold queried agents like a lot of people are gonna have to do, low-key they might not have even gotten to my pages. My query might have fucked my shit up because it's not that it was bad, but they basically were like, okay, let's look at the query and pulled it up on the jumbo screen, child. Well, it wasn't the jumbo screen, but it was the laptop, and to me that it was giving jumbo screen because I'm like, why do you have this up in front of me right now? And I want to point out that this is an advantage. You don't always get a second shot, and you also don't get agents who are willing to do this kind of thing. Again, two things. I was in a program, and two, this agent knowing that I was a part of the TV Hollywood entertainment ecosystem made them, I think, helped solidify that I do have a little bit more experience. And I think having that experience is a little desirable for agents. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I could be wrong. Like, do not quote me. This is all like I just want to point out some of the privileges I have coming into it. It may or may not have affected it, but I just feel like having experience and seeing that on the query letter makes agents be like, oh, okay. Like, even though the query letter sucked ass, this person has experience. So here's what I learned. And this is, take this with a grain of salt, because also my memory is so bad and I wish I would have actually recorded, because I like record voice memos. I wish I would have done that. The major thing that this agent told me is that your query letter is not just about summarizing, because I was going into it like, well, you might not read the book, you don't have the whole book, so here's like a way, I'm pitching the book. But it's not just about pitching the book. I went into it, I wrote opening, this is kind of like what it is and why you'd be interested in it. Second paragraph was like, here's a brief summary where I didn't spoil the ending. Third paragraph was like, here's characters and like kind of journey stuff, here's tone, and then I ended with like a little paragraph of a bio. What they said was, your query letter is about showing that you are equally as good as a business partner. So an agent is kind of wanting to know that you are going to be a good partner, because it's not going to just be, because it's not like this in TV. It's not just gonna be like, well, here's the manuscript, go out, give me a deal, the fuck. It's not just gonna be like that. It's gonna be a lot of back and forth. You might have to make changes. You're gonna, like, it's going to be a partnership. And that's why it's important that you fuck with your agent and you don't just take whoever the fuck comes to you, because it's going to be a partnership. And that needs to be reflected on the query letter. And so understanding who the market is, understanding where the book sits in that marketplace to this agent, because I think all agents want different things, but to this agent, it was important to at least incorporate a little bit of that. Like, where does it sit in the current ecosystem of literary horror novels? They said that I put my credits too low. I had the last thing as like a biography, but if you're someone that has that experience in some way in this agent's POV, you want to bring that up higher. So it's like, oh, okay, I will keep reading. This person has this experience. I'm very curious. Just using what you have to your advantage. So putting those credits and that kind of stuff up higher, at least to this agent. Doing that, shortening, I had too much information. Shortening up the what happens and who the characters are, making sure every sentence is as like boom, boom, boom. No sentence needs to just be there. Like, it's what actually matters. Take what matters, get rid of what doesn't matter. Don't put a summary of the story. Say what the story is, where it's going, what's the tone, what are the comps. Don't get caught up on comps either. Like, I can't, this is not a query letter this is not a query letter video, but like, I hope I'm making sense. This is here's the credits. This is the novel, to like in the most punchiest, shortest, this grabs interest, almost like a bunch of log lines, it sounds like. Tone, here are the comps. So if you don't know what comps are, it's like, this book is like Game of Thrones meets beach read. Like, I don't fucking know. And then making sure that you have incorporated, like, this is where I think it sits. This is like kind of who I'm looking at. Very short. All these things are super short. The shorter, the better. Mine was too long. Okay, so the point of that isn't like a lesson in query, because like I said, every query is different. But the lesson is, I was wrong. Yes, it was important for the pages to be super strong, but unless an agent finds you, like, I guess, like, if you're like you get popular on Book Talk or some shit, and like an agent is like, oh my God, like, let me rep you or whatever. So like, unless the agent is coming to you, you're probably gonna have to query an agent at least, and those query letters actually do matter. As much as I'd rather jump off of a fucking cliff, I'd rather kill anyway, query letters actually matter. And I went into that, it was, it's a learning opportunity, but imagine if it wasn't a place where I could get a second. Like, imagine if there wasn't, like, I didn't have the credits, I wasn't in the program. Like, imagine if it was cold. You don't always get a second read. And so these things really do matter. And if I were gonna go back in time, I would make sure that I put just as much effort in my query as into the pages. And this means that I'm gonna have to go back and rewrite, or like judge and like redo the query, because imagine if this agent doesn't become my agent. This is still important stuff for the next time. So doesn't matter. A good meeting is a good meeting, but nothing means anything unless they have officially shaken your hand and it's like a done deal. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to work on. So the meeting was success. Pages have been requested, but also I got, the query had to be called out just a little bit, and now I'm going to have to do some work. So it's good. Here's the real problem. Okay. So now I have to write the book. There's a deadline. So in the program, we have deadlines for our drafts. My first draft deadline is February. Oh my God. Why am I sitting here talking? I need to be, my friend asked me where I'm at. She was like, oh, you must be like done. Child. I'm stressing myself out. Okay. Anyway, so there's a deadline for the manuscript first draft, but there's also now someone, and they're not, I'm sure this agent is not like, oh, I'm counting down the days until Vanessa, but there is someone, this is someone that is kind of sort of maybe not expecting it, but asked for it. So I have somewhat of an expectation, even if it's not like someone beating down my fucking door, because like, who gives it? I'm one person out of like a million, but there is an expectation. And now there's a reader on the other side of it that I'm like, oh shit. Like, and it's not just a reader. This is someone that I want to represent me. Like, okay, the first 20 pages was great, but what's it giving at page 150? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm so excited, but it's stressing me out a little bit. It's kind of like it's added a layer of slight paralysis that I didn't realize what it was from, because this meeting was a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, there's just a little bit more at stake now, because there is a goal with the novel. I do want it to be out there, and like, I do want, you know what I mean? Like, it matters to me a whole lot. Like, it matters to me as a piece of art that I do a whole lot. And unfortunately, if you want to be in the business of publishing, you do have that extra layer of like capitalistic thinking now, because now it's like, well, what are they gonna think? That's what your brain is gonna want you to do. And so what I'm trying to remind myself is there's no pressure. There is no pressure. And that's been something that I did a video on that. That is something, the no pressure, anti-capitalistic way of making art is really important for me. And it's crazy because that's like on one hand, and the other hand, it's like, well, I want people to fucking read the shit. Like, so I want a publisher, like, and I wouldn't mind someone that was kind of big. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I have dreams too, but it's that stuff that sometimes taints the art before the art even becomes what it's supposed to be. This book is not even what the book hasn't even fully bloomed yet. Like, on this is just the first draft, here I am type shit. But now I have this like idea of I'm waiting. So while this is really great, and having wins on your manuscript before it even comes out and early in excitement is amazing. But after this video, I'm putting that aside now, and we're gonna move on, and we're gonna keep doing the novel for me and me alone. And hopefully, just like those intro 20 pages, hopefully writing for me and me alone will be the thing that, if I decide that I really still need an agent, this is the thing that will still get me an agent, if by the end I still want that, because it can always change. And because it can always change, that's why it's equally as important for you to always check your capitalistic thinking and make sure that you're still writing for yourself. And that's kind of what I'm gonna have to do as the weeks continue. We're making good, conscious art despite the capitalistic systems that we have to navigate through. And if you're like, I don't want to navigate through that, don't do it, because it's not an easy process. It's really not an easy process. But on the other hand, a lot of the writers that you know and love were published traditionally, so you also don't have to feel like, in order for me to be a good conscious artist, I have to go. There's a lot of different publishers and like ways to kind of get help. But just know that once an institution, and I consider representation to be a part of the institution, once institution has its eyes set on your art, you now have to protect that art with all that you can and all of your fucking might. And that's what I'm gonna do with this novel. But it is gonna be a journey. Okay, so it went really well. Honestly, I'm like delirious at this point, so I don't remember anything. I loved her, so hopefully it is her. She has to read, but it's just been so difficult, like industry stuff. And you know, if you're in any position at this point, like, it's just hard. It's hard in STEM, it's hard in creativity, it's hard in anything that you're doing. So any ounce of like positive reinforcement, we need to just hold on to that and feel good about that. So I'm letting myself hold on to it and feel good about it before I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta finish writing this shit. And I think I got what I wanted to get out of this. So yeah.